They say you learn something new every day. Well, you're about to learn 10 new things, although you might have decided you were happier before you knew all about this weird stuff. Join me as I tell you 10 creepy things you probably didn't know. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to The Supreme, and click the notification bell for more lit content. Let's get rolling. Dolphin brains. Did you know that dolphins have bigger brains than humans? They also have crazy shapes. Look at that. Dolphin brains weigh around 3.5 pounds, whereas human brains are around 2.8 pounds. They also have bigger brain to body weight ratio than apes, who we often consider to be the next best intelligent animals. Studies of dolphin brains have revealed actually the marine mammals have the second most complex brains in the animal kingdom after humans. I often sit and think about evolution. Humans are the most intelligent creatures right now, but what about in the next 1,000 or million years? Could dolphins ever outsmart us? This is actually a pretty terrifying thought. In a recent Supreme video, we talked about how dolphins are secretly murderers. Well, if that's the case and their brains are second only to ours, maybe one day they'll find a way to take over. Good thing we live on land. You'll never get to us, you silly dolphins. Okay, that escalated quickly. Eyelash mites. Up until today, I had no idea that eyelash mites were a thing. Tiny little creatures living on our eyelashes. It sounds like a sci-fi horror movie, but it turns out that it's very much reality. A small percentage of people actually realize that they have them. Most are blissfully unaware. Officially known as Demodex mites, eyelash mites are a microscopic parasite spread by pets to people. They bury themselves in hair follicles and they love the natural oils that can be found on people's faces. The mites try to avoid sunlight, so they're most active when their human hosts are sleeping. Okay, this is definitely sounding more sci-fi horror by the second. Apparently, during their nightly escapades, they breed. You likely wouldn't know you had the mites until their numbers were large, at which point you would start to get itchy or inflamed eyes. Those who have ever been diagnosed with eyelash mites have cleared them up easily by having their eyelids cleaned at a doctor's office. If you knew you had eyelash mites, what would you do? I'd start charging them rent. Squeaky toys are for killer dogs. You might think your dog is cute. You might like buying it squeaky toys and watching it play. But you should know that deep in your dog's brain, it doesn't think it's playing. It thinks it's ripping a tiny animal apart. Dogs like squeaky toys because it tugs at their animalistic hunting urges. The squeaks trigger a part of their brain that makes them think their hunting is still alive. This is why some dogs will completely destroy a toy. They aren't satisfied until it's, well, dead. The Sedlec Ossuary. Welcome to the Church of Bones, the creepiest place of worship in the whole world. The Macabri Chapel can be found underneath the Church of All Saints in the suburb of Kunta Horna in the Czech Republic. The space contains the remains of between 40,000 to 70,000 people. That is a lot. Oh, and most of these people died during war or the plague. It's one thing to store bones, it's another to decoratively arrange them into furnishings. In the ossuary, you'll find chandeliers of bones and sweeps of skulls. Some of the skulls have even been arranged to have bones in their mouths, which I think is kind of messed up. It turns out that actually the Bone Chapel is a popular tourist spot in the Czech Republic. According to late 2019 news articles, the Sedlec Ossuary has made the decision to ban selfies because visitors were not properly respecting the dead. Super deep hole. How do you guys feel about super deep holes? Good? Bad? Let's have a show of hands. Personally, the thought of being too far underground gives me anxiety. I like to see the sky. I'm a human. It makes sense. Humans are curious though, and curiosity is what led us to digging a big old hole. Like a really, really, really big hole. In Russia, there's a hole in the ground reaching down 40,230 feet. That's 7.6 miles down into Earth. The digging happened back in the 1970s and kept going on until 1992, when equipment started to melt. Yes, melt. The further down you dig, the closer you get to the Earth's mantle and core, which are hot, hot, hot. In the end, the scientists behind the digging abandoned the project because they couldn't get any deeper. Instead of filling in the hole like any good upstanding citizen should, they just left it. They left a 7-mile deep hole in the ground. Can you just take a second to think about how deep a 7-mile hole is? Here's a little visual comparing the world's tallest building with the hole. To make matters even worse, those who go near the hole think they can hear souls screaming from hell. So, there's that. Oh, and a fun fact, guys, this isn't even the deepest hole in the world anymore. There's a massive oil well in Qatar and another off the Russian island of Sakhalin that reaches down 40,502 feet. Can we stop putting holes in Earth, people? The teeth. Nobody likes having their teeth pulled. I actually have recurring nightmares about my teeth falling out. As adults, we might lose a few teeth at the dentist if we're unlucky, but mostly what we have is pretty much what we have. Now, I don't know about you, but I've totally forgotten what it's like to lose teeth all the time as a kid. It is normal for us, but if you stop and think about it, it's creepy that we lose a full set of teeth as a second pushes through. Hold on to that thought, and now let me tell you about a 7-year-old boy in India. In 2019, a boy was admitted to a hospital because of pain in his lower jaw. Doctors soon found out that he had a growth in his mouth filled with teeth. In the end, the kid had 526 extra teeth removed from his mouth. 526! Skin. Just a fun little creepy fact about skin for you. Did you know that in a human's lifetime, we will shed around 40 to 70 pounds of skin? This is the equivalent of a 3-year-old child, or a 15-foot canoe on the low end, or the weight of a small couch at the high end. Every minute of every day, we shed around 30,000 dead skin cells. Most of this makes up household dust, which actually kinda makes me feel weird about dusty places now. They are just places where the most skin has been shed, I guess. The only thing making me feel better about this whole skin shedding thing is that we do it a lot less creepy than snakes do. We do it in flakes. They do the whole damn thing in one go. Can you imagine if humans left dead skin lying around like snakes do? Now I might gag. World's oldest vomit. I think about history a lot. I think about what humans and animals have left on Earth and what we will find when we start digging. I think about fossils leading us to discover ancient extinct animals, and I think about finding early signs of human life. Never once have I thought about finding the world's oldest vomit until now. In 2002, fossilized dinosaur vomit from an ichthyosaur was found in a quarry in Peterborough, England. Paleontologists discovered the large fish-like reptile had eaten shellfish whole and then vomited them back up. Yikes. Finding out about the world's oldest vomit led me down a weird Google rabbit hole, and I'm pleased and a little disturbed to say that I now know that the world's oldest poop dates back 50,000 years and was dropped by a Neanderthal in Spain. Too much internet for one day? Yeah, perhaps. Fat Mountain. This is one of the creepiest and most disgusting stories I've ever heard. I've always thought that London, England would be a cute and quaint place to visit, But it turns out that underneath the surface of high tea and charming architecture, there is a grisly secret lurking in the sewers. Fatsburgs. The problem with London is that it's old. The sewage systems were built in the 1800s and can't deal with the rise in waste, especially the amount of cleaning wipes that are flushed away. The first fatberg to make the headlines was the Fatty Mass under Kingston upon Thames in London, weighing 15 tons. Other fatbergs blocked sewers under London in 2014 and 2015. The mother of all fatbergs was discovered under Whitechapel in London in 2017. The Whitechapel fatberg weighed 130 tons and was over 820 feet in length. Seriously, imagine that for just a second. Luckily, the monster berg was broken down into biofuel, but it did take 2 months to destroy. It turns out that we aren't any better in the US. We've had our own fatberg situations in New York City, Baltimore, and Denver, and half of all sewer blockages are caused by grease. Ugh. So, what exactly are fatbergs? Grease from human waste and grease from flushed cooking oils that have mulched up with wet wipes, napkins, condoms, cotton buds, and food waste. Ugh. Honestly, I was better off not knowing about fatbergs. Horned lizard blood squirt. I say this in videos a lot. Nature is always surprising and delighting me. I love learning about animals I've never heard about. That being said, sometimes I learn about creatures that are straight up creeps, and this is one of those times. Did you know that there's a lizard out there that squirts blood from its eyes? Yeah, you heard me. Squirts blood from its eyes. It seemed that horned lizards can be found in all the driest areas of North America, and they have a very unique defense system. If they feel threatened, they will squirt a foul-smelling stream of blood from their eyes that can travel up to 6 feet. Here, watch this. Creepy. What'd I tell you? Okay, who's feeling kinda grossed out now? Certainly I am. That was the 10 creepy things you probably didn't know. It was educational, I'll say that. Did you guys learn something new from this video? Anything creepy that you want to tell us in the comment section? Go ahead. We love hearing from you.